Cowboys Nation. The offseason is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing periods for America's team in recent memory. Right now, there is a lot of chatter around the team's salary cap, with many assuming that Dallas is limited or constrained in their financial flexibility. The reality, however, paints a very different picture behind the scenes. There are a number of tools and mechanisms embedded in player contracts that can unlock significant cap space, potentially reaching numbers close to $100 million. This is not just hypothetical, it is a strategic approach that could allow the Cowboys to pursue key free agents aggressively, fill critical roster gaps, and position themselves as a team capable of contending for a championship, rather than settling for another 9 or 10-win season. Understanding the current cap situation is crucial. The standard trackers often show the Cowboys in the negative by around $32 million, but much of this figure is a projection, not a final accounting. The truth is that the team has several options to restructure contracts in a way that frees up significant funds without compromising the core roster. These simple restructures, built directly into the existing agreements, allow for the redistribution of bonuses and salary obligations across future seasons. It's a tool that the smartest front offices in the NFL have used for years to maintain competitive balance while staying under the cap, and Dallas has a perfect opportunity to leverage it effectively this offseason. Looking at specifics, the potential savings are substantial. Dak Prescott's contract, for instance, could be restructured in a way that frees nearly $31 million against the cap. CeeDee Lamb could generate about $19 million through similar adjustments. Beyond the stars, there are key contributors such as Tyler Smith, Osa Odigizua, Don Bland, and younger players like Jake Ferguson, whose combined restructures could collectively open up close to $93 million in cap space. What makes these moves particularly appealing is that they do not require cutting core talent. The team retains its foundational players while gaining enormous financial flexibility, creating the freedom to pursue high-impact additions in free agency or address depth where it is most needed. Additional opportunities exist beyond these internal adjustments. By strategically extending top performers or making selective cuts, the Cowboys could push available cap space even higher. Extensions for players like Kenny Clark or Quinn Williams, if managed correctly, could add another $30 million in flexibility, depending on how aggressive the front office chooses to be. Even with conservative estimates, the Cowboys could realistically have $50 to $60 million available to invest in free agency. That level of flexibility allows for the signing of a few transformative players, rather than simply filling out the roster with minor moves, aligning perfectly with championship aspiration rather than incremental improvements. It's also important to recognize that not all of the available cap space is immediately liquid. Some of it involves post-June 1st designations or draft pick rollovers, meaning that the funds are allocated strategically across multiple seasons. Nonetheless, the overarching point remains: Dallas is far from financially constrained. Their core roster, from the defensive line to the secondary and offensive skill positions, has the flexibility to breathe, while clear paths exist to strengthen the team without dismantling what already works. By managing contracts wisely, adjusting guaranteed money, and extending or releasing players selectively, the Cowboys can retain essential talent while adding critical pieces to their championship puzzle. The defensive line highlights how this strategy could play out in practice. Quinn Williams, Kenny Clark, and Osa Odigizua form a solid interior, and through restructures or extensions, the Cowboys can preserve this group while creating substantial cap space. Choosing the backload contracts or restructure guarantees could yield savings of up to $30 million. Maintaining top-tier talent and keeping the defensive front intact. Cutting players would free additional money, but at the cost of proven contributors. The team's challenge will be to strike the right balance between financial flexibility and roster stability, ensuring that key foundations remain while also leaving room for strategic additions and free agency. On the offensive side, the focus is equally strategic. Dak Prescott's and CeeDee Lamb's contracts offer built-in opportunities to lower the current cap hit without diminishing long-term value. These moves are not risky gambles, they are planned mechanisms for navigating modern NFL payrolls, along with similar adjustments for other key players. The Cowboys could create more than $100 million in theoretical cap space, though a realistic target of $50 to $60 million already provides ample room To make meaningful roster improvements, the aim is not simply to create space for the sake of it, but to deploy it wisely, focusing on areas where impact players can make the most difference, particularly in the defensive front and secondary where depth has often been a limiting factor. The strategy goes beyond pure financial manipulation. It is about execution and timing, by carefully aligning restructures, selective cuts, and extensions with free agency and draft planning. The Cowboys can ensure that funds are available exactly when needed. Post-June 1st designations, draft pick allocations, and rollover funds can all be coordinated to maximize efficiency. This strategic orchestration allows Dallas to invest in high-impact players at the right moments, avoiding the pitfalls of rushing signings or overcommitting to marginal depth. Every decision is about creating the highest possible return on investment, both financially and on the field. In a league where a few plays can define the difference between a playoff berth and a championship run, special teams also factor into the equation, while positions like kicker and punter may seem minor compared to high-profile skill positions. Every cap dollar counts. The Cowboys can evaluate cost-effective options in these areas without overpaying, ensuring that money is available for positions that have a greater direct influence on wins. Similarly, franchise tag situations, such as those involving key contributors approaching the end of their contracts, must be managed carefully. Properly negotiated extensions can reduce cap impact while providing long-term security, preserving both financial and roster stability. Each of these elements, from contract restructuring to timing and targeted acquisitions, feeds into a broader strategy that maximizes the team's competitiveness without sacrificing core talent. What becomes clear through all of this is that the Cowboys have a unique opportunity this offseason. The combination of built-in contract tools, selective restructuring, and potential extensions provides a roadmap to create a championship-caliber roster while maintaining financial stability, even if the full theoretical cap space of $100 million is not fully realized. The $50 to $60 million realistically attainable still allows for transformative moves. These funds could address defensive weaknesses, enhance offensive skill positions, and add depth in key rotational roles. It is a chance to elevate the team from competitive to legitimate contender, positioning Dallas to make bold, strategic moves that directly impact wins and playoff success. With the potential cap space in hand, the Cowboys now face the challenge of deploying it intelligently to maximize their chances of competing at the highest level. This is not about making moves for the sake of movement. It is about identifying the areas where high-impact additions can elevate the roster immediately. The defense, for instance, requires careful attention. While the line has talent at its core with players like Quinn Williams, Kenny Clark, and Osa Odigizua, depth and complementary skill are critical for sustaining pressure on opposing quarterbacks and controlling the run game throughout a full season. The Cowboys can use their financial flexibility to either extend these cornerstone players or bring in external talent who can contribute immediately, blending continuity with strategic upgrades. Linebackers and the secondary are other areas ripe for reinforcement. Depth has historically been a concern in these positions, where injuries or lapses in performance can significantly affect the team's success. By targeting experienced, proven players or promising young free agents, Dallas can shore up these units without sacrificing the salary structure needed to maintain the core roster. The goal is to create a balanced defense capable of competing against elite offenses across the league. This requires smart allocation of funds, understanding which moves provide the most immediate benefit, and ensuring that every dollar spent translates into a measurable increase in on-field performance. On offense, the priorities are continuity and targeted skill upgrades. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb remain central to any offensive strategy, and the flexibility gained from their restructures allows the Cowboys to explore enhancements without destabilizing what already works. Adding one or two versatile offensive weapons could have a ripple effect, opening up the passing game, providing more creative play-calling options, and taking pressure off Prescott to carry the team on his shoulders. A dynamic tight end, an additional wide receiver, or even a running back capable of contributing in multiple facets could be exactly the type of strategic signing that elevates the offense to an elite level. Timing of these moves will be just as important as the moves themselves. Certain cap designations, post-June 1st, options, and draft pick allocations dictate when money becomes fully available. The Cowboys can align these financial timelines with free agency opportunities, ensuring that funds are ready for targeted acquisitions at the most opportune moments. This approach reduces the risk of overpaying in panic situations or signing players who do not fit the long-term plan. The front office's ability to orchestrate restructures, extensions, and acquisitions in harmony with the league calendar could provide Dallas with a unique competitive advantage that few other teams possess. Special teams considerations are another subtle but impactful factor. Positions like kicker, punter, or return specialist may not carry the glamour of a defensive tackle or star receiver, but each contributes to the overall efficiency of the roster. Cap strategy allows the Cowboys to invest appropriately in these roles without overcommitting funds, ensuring that every position is optimized. This attention to detail reflects a broader philosophy, maximizing value from every dollar spent, understanding the interconnected nature of the roster, and avoiding unnecessary financial strain while still achieving performance goals. Franchise tag management also comes into play, particularly for key contributors approaching contract expirations. By negotiating extensions instead of relying on the franchise tag, Dallas can significantly reduce cap hits while providing players with long-term security. Well-structured extensions not only benefit individual players but also give the team financial predictability in future seasons. This approach is critical for a team aiming to balance immediate competitiveness with sustainable success. Each carefully executed contract adjustment or extension reinforces the notion that the Cowboys are building for both the present and the future, creating a roster capable of contending for multiple seasons. The overall vision for this offseason is one of bold but calculated action. The Cowboys have a realistic path to $50 to $60 million in usable cap space, enough to make strategic signings that address weaknesses while preserving the core talent that has defined recent success. Defensive improvements, offensive skill additions, and carefully planned depth acquisitions all become feasible under this strategy. This is not about chasing quantity, it is about quality. Targeted, impactful players who fill precise needs can make the difference between a good season and a championship caliber campaign. Every move is an investment in outcomes that matter most: wins, playoff positioning, and ultimately a Super Bowl opportunity. Historically, Dallas has sometimes approached free agency conservatively, emphasizing stability over aggressive change. This offseason presents a unique convergence of resources, roster needs, and strategic options that makes caution less appealing. The financial tools built into player contracts, combined with the potential cap flexibility, empower the front office to pursue meaningful upgrades without sacrificing the foundation of the team. Whether it is reinforcing the defensive front, adding secondary depth, or introducing complementary offensive weapons, the Cowboys can address high-impact positions that could swing close games in their favor. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. It seems the Dallas Cowboys may be stepping into uncharted territory with a move that could shake the NFL landscape. Rumors are swirling that the team has secured a major acquisition, and all eyes are now on Jordan Love, while no official announcement has yet been made beyond what ESPN has hinted. Insiders suggest that the Cowboys are positioning themselves for a seismic shift at quarterback. Fans and analysts alike are buzzing with speculation. Could this be the move that finally pushes Dallas over the top? Jordan Love, known for his strong arm and mobility, has been a subject of intrigue since his early years in the league. His potential has often been discussed, sometimes polarizingly, but pairing him with the Cowboys' offensive weapons could be a game changer. The team has shown a willingness to invest in talent that fits their aggressive, high-powered style, and Love's skill set seems to align perfectly with that vision. Sources indicate that this acquisition may signal the Cowboys' intent not just to compete, but to dominate the NFC. The excitement in Dallas is palpable. Fans have taken to social media to speculate how Love could fit into the Cowboys' offense, and whether his presence could finally solidify a quarterback situation that has been a source of frustration in recent seasons. Analysts are already drawing comparisons to other teams that took similar high-risk, high-reward approaches, noting that the Cowboys could be poised for a breakout year if Love adapts quickly to the system. While details remain murky, there are whispers of behind-the-scenes meetings and strategy sessions focused solely on integrating Love into the roster. If the rumors are true, the Cowboys front office is making a bold statement. This is a team determined to rewrite expectations, whether this move pays off immediately or develops over time. The buzz surrounding Dallas is undeniable. Jordan Love could be the missing piece in a team already stacked with talent, and for now, speculation is all we have, but it's enough to get the football world talking. The NFL rumor mill is alive, and if these reports hold any truth, the Cowboys may not just be contenders, they could be the team everyone else has to chase. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.